Hey guys, another flashback review time, and this movie is continuing with the comic book trend. Even though pretty much all of the comic book movies are out by now, pretty much doing their thing, I'm still going to be touching on some of the comic book movies I've seen, pretty much ending it with Batman, especially now that I've done the review on Batman and got my overall thoughts on the new Batman, The Dark Knight Rises. I figured I'd get my thoughts on all the Batman movies that I've seen, even some of the animation films that I have caught wind of. I might as well start with this film before touching on the last couple of live action films, and that is a film that by everyone's account is considered the most underrated film, and rightfully so. It is an underrated film that deserves a lot more credit than what it's got, and that is Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Pretty much short, it's more of an origin story than anything else from the Batman animated series point of view, and to me, unlike some of the other stories, with the exception of probably Batman Begins, this was actually well done. I like this story because you see what was going on with Batman being framed by another masked vigilante that goes by the name of the Phantasm, who, for situations unknown, is attacking a lot of these mob bosses, and Batman is pretty much trying to solve who is this Phantasm and why is he killing off these mob bosses, and as they do the flashbacks, which by the way, sometimes I have a problem with when movies go back to the flashbacks, but this one did it pretty well, that you pretty much understand that what they were trying to tell you had indeed had a link to what's going on in the present time, and this pretty much has to do with Batman's first love, which in this movie it actually did something that I was not really expecting. It actually gave him conflict, because on the one hand he's slowly but surely becoming the Batman, where he is basically fighting crime on the street as just a regular vigilante with a mask, and not doing very well at it. Of course, he did foil the robbery, and he's pumped up because he feels it's working. He's not getting that fear factor that he needs to make sure that, hey, this is who I am. Be afraid, be very afraid, because when they saw him, he looked like a joke, even though he basically beat him down. To the fact where this lady who's very connected, whose father's very well respected, and there is a love interest there that pretty much is tearing him in between. It's pretty much giving him conflict between, does he want to continue to be the Dark Knight? Does he want to become this vigilante crime fighter, or does he throw it away, breaking the promise he made to his parents, to his late parents, to have a settle down, have a wife, and possibly have kids of his own? Apparently that did not happen, and that's largely because of a situation the girl's father has gotten himself into, where without really getting into any major details, basically left town. And this is where we also see an unknown thug, an unknown pretty much a gun for hire, who doesn't have much voices, who doesn't really speak, but his actions is simply enough. You can tell he's intimidating. And that character, surprisingly, is the Joker in the flashbacks. And I'm going to the flashbacks a lot because the flashbacks are very, very unique. You get to see a lot with Bruce Wayne and his ideas, especially the idea for the iconic Batmobile in the Batman anime series. A lot of people have mixed feelings toward it. It's pretty much the same Batmobile you've seen in the live-action Tim Burton film. But make no mistake about it, it is definitely an iconic scene. You get to show a lot of stuff that he had his ideas from, and he pretty much adapted that Batmobile to his own. which I kind of find it very interesting. But you start to see a lot of stuff that pretty unfolds, and as you see these flashbacks, and the more you see them, you pretty much understood that okay, something happened, and you pretty much knew this woman has something to do with it. And if any disappointment about it is that after you see the flashbacks, you pretty much know that this woman was the Phantasm, hands down. But it really did a good job playing off of trying to throw people off, because remember, she left town only to come back when she murdered, when the Phantasm murdered his first victim. She left and then came back as if she was just there. She figured out who Batman was very easy, because Batman, for reasons I don't know, visited the grave of his parents, and she was there talking to her mother, who passed away, and this was like way before she even mingled with Bruce, and that's when she saw Batman, and when Batman flee, he saw the grave that where she was standing on, and that pretty much figure out that yes, this is Bruce Wayne, and this pretty much they pretty much solidified themselves as that. Again, Bruce Wayne, even though it was not easy, they both rekindle their love for each other, but unfortunately that did not end well. One, you have this attorney guy who wants to really make a name of himself by going after the Batman, especially after people have noticed him in the parking lot in a vivid scene, because they saw him in shadow. They didn't actually see him do the crime, but they saw him standing over that parking lot. Automatically he's the one. He's turned rogue. They think he's murdering mobs now, and so against the wishes of Gordon, because Gordon was informed that the Batman don't kill, and basically said, you want him, you're on your own, and with the help of some cops who I'm not surprised that was involved in that, really went on high pursuit to get the Batman. And to be honest with you, they almost succeed, especially when the Joker came into the mix, because the Joker was hired by a guy who was on his last legs, and because the Phantasm is basically trying to kill him off. But they don't really know is the Phantasm. They think it's a Joker, and they said, you know what, we're gonna hire you. And the Joker, pretty much in his most menacing role, not only accepts the challenge, but kills him off to lure this last assassin, which he quickly finds out is not Batman. And you pretty much know he knew it wasn't Batman, and that pretty much sets up a lot of stuff happening between that. Batman almost got caught, only to be saved by his love interest. They pretty much hit it off well, but it didn't take long to realize that Batman, that the woman is in fact linked to what was going on. And he didn't realize that, and he realized that one of the mobs that he's going after, the one who actually killed her father, because her father did die in the movie, that's just one of the reasons that prompted her to go after them. Eventually, he went after the Joker, but the Joker already knew from the start, because he visited the district attorney, and they had a certain past themselves, because of the mob boss that was all linked to. It was turned out to find out that he sold them out. He knew what developed himself of the grandfather after it was revealed that he needed to leave town because he owed him money, and there was no way he was going to pay him back. So he left town. Him and the daughter left town. But because of this district attorney who shady himself, told them where they were, and as a result of that, we had probably the most saddest thing that ever happened. That the Joker, who wasn't a Joker at the time, killed her father, which prompted her to become the vigilante known as the Phantasm. Unfortunately, she didn't carry the same, cross this line, the mentality. She wants to kill him. She don't want him to see justice. She just simply wants to kill him. Went after the Joker. Joker knew who he was. Joker almost took him out, and Batman basically pleaded with her to not let me take care of it, and she does for a little bit. We had the iconic classic scene of Batman versus the Joker, which I actually enjoyed. It was a great fight scene, and then it has the end where they both where the Phantasm grabbed them. He said this has to end, and they disappeared, only to realize that the Joker, we don't know what happened to the Joker, but he survived because he's still in the animated series. If you see her at the end of the boat, going out of business, And probably one of the saddest things about it, because it pretty much solidifies why Batman really can't have a love life unless that person knows that she can, really be committed to what he's doing. In the end, she's in a boat, and the guy came up to her, want to talk to her, and she didn't really brush her off, but she was so lost in thought. The guy said, "I didn't know you wanted to be alone." He said, "I am alone. I'm pretty much alone. That is it." And the film ends, of course, with the kind of backstatement of Batman going to do what he does, it's business as usual. Again, I really did enjoy this movie. This movie is everything I come to respect from the Batman anime series. It tells a very good origin story. My only gripe with this film, like I said, it didn't took too long to realize who the Phantasm was. It really didn't. It tried to hide it, but after you see the flashback and stuff, yeah, you pretty much knew who it was. There was no denying it at that point. I will say that the pacing was very good, but the problem with this film, another problem I found out is, especially after I looked at it now, this movie should have been done as a TV special. It should have been done as a made-for-TV or made-for-cable a film, because it didn't really bring anything that new that we could have seen on television. That's not saying it's a bad thing. Believe me, it's not. But when I saw the movie, I said, you know what, this is like a 2-hour extension of Batman anime series. In fact, that's what it really was. The only difference was, and there's a major big difference, it was very clear when you watch this movie that they was trying to gun for more mature audiences. There was a lot of things that, although you didn't see, you pretty much obvious what it was going on, and it really aimed for that mature, older crowd. This film was not rated G when it came out. It was PG. It was not PG-13, but it was PG. But it really felt they was really trying to push that older audiences. Not to say that the anime series really was meant for young children. It was meant for a more broader, mature adult crowd. And that's fine. The one thing I actually did adore about the anime series, and even this movie, they didn't treat kids stupidly, unlike that other damn anime show that's on right now. But I'm not going to talk about that. But this one, it was a lot different. It was more mature. It treated the audience like I had a brain, and I always appreciate that. Heard a lot of complaints about the ending song. I didn't really care about it. It's the ending song. Who cares? It's not memorable. Nobody really thinks about it. It's just one of those songs that it's not gonna hold wind. What I really did love is the fact that the late, I believe, Shirley Walker, who did the score for the anime series, did the score for this movie, and man, did I enjoy it. I really did like the sound of this film, and I wish that people give her credit for doing a fantastic job of having this kind of score in both the anime series and in the movie, because she really did a good job. I really do love that score that she have done. A lot of people said, "Oh, that's really just Tim Burton's score." I'm not buying that. I know they had the Tim Burton score. The Danny Elfman score in the beginning of the Batman anime series, but that's the only identification you can actually link to the Batman live film to the animated series. When the series go on, that's all Shirley Walker, to me, I wish that people really give her credit. She was nominated for an award for that score, and sadly, she passed away, leaving a legacy which I feel that she deserves a lot more credit than what she got. But again, the score was beautiful. Sadly, this film did not do well in the box office. It was only later, when the film was released on VHS, that people really got to appreciate this movie. Pretty much largely because when this film came out, this was poorly advertised. I think that only Fox, Channel 5 at the time, when they was the one that was running the show, they was the only one that was actually promoting it. I don't think any other channel in my memory, actually promote the movie. There were posters, but there was really no real big push to have this film. It's almost like they threw this away. Okay, we have this film, let's put it in theaters and hope we get as much money as we can. And I thought that Warner Brothers really dropped the ball on this. If they really did not want this film to be out in theaters, I think they should have just had it better to have it as a 2-hour premiere on Channel 5, or have it on some other channel, or even on cable. But to have it being, put out there and not even have the respect to promote it, it really began to show, especially with the last two films, just how much they really did not have respect for the property at all. I really just didn't understand why they just couldn't just put it on television. I think it would have worked a lot better if it was on television. Probably had it better, even more, brought up fans appreciating the film. Again, besides from the predictability of the film and that ending theme song, which I'm not even gonna throw out there because it really doesn't really count. But besides from the predictability of who the villain was, that was pretty much the only holdback I had a problem with. Other than that, I love the animation, love the music, love the story, how they linked everything together between Bruce Wayne's situation that he was facing in that present time, and also his upcoming in his past. I really like it, and it really did make me think that if he really did love and they went to get married, would he have pursued that legacy of being Batman? Because keep in mind, in the ending of doing that film, he got the letter stating that she's too young, need time, forget about me, and all that other stuff, and that pretty much left him into some kind of deep depression. I think, to say, well, I got nothing left now. Might as well just do what my original plan was. And when you saw him putting up the suit and put on his thing, that music resonance of, we finally got our Batman. Batman was born, and he went to do what he does best. This movie gets 3 stars. It's a very, very good movie. I recommend for all Batman fans, especially fans of the Batman animated series, to go check it out. It's actually a well done, and I'll go on to say it was the origin story and how they presented Batman was actually better than the movie of the 1989 Tim Burton's. That's just my opinion. I actually thought they did a better job at presenting Batman than Tim Burton did, largely because they did a good job with his origin story. They didn't give us too much. They didn't give us how he trained, but they gave us pretty much a conflict. Should I do this or should I not do this? And it really did show. So 3 stars. Check it out. That's my opinion on the film. I will do at least a few more animated films, but I will be right back to the live action films. Until then, this is J77. Say take care and be safe.